Hello, SBT. You're quite good at turning me on. How's that for an intro?
I think that was quite a good intro.
Yeah, nothing like Simpsons references.
Uh, Nothing quite like Lee Cavallo's putting.
What?
So, Lee Cavallo's putting challenge.
Oh
That's
no,
the-
that was a reference to.
Oh, I know it's a separate one.
Yeah, they turn on Smithers' computer and it's a picture of Mr. Burns. It's like, hello, Smithers. You're quite good at turning me on. And then he just looks at Lisa and goes, you should probably ignore that. Yeah. I'm new, SBT. I'm doing a draft breakdown. This is, totally wasn't recorded just after the WPF one. Not at all. Okay. Oh god. Okay, so let's start with this. I believe I was picked 12 for SBT.
Yeah, it's quite.
Yeah. So that's pretty late in the draft. So a lot of the Pokemon that I wanted weren't gonna get to me, let's be real. But I was specifically
This is a draft of 16.
Yeah, draft of 16.
Yeah.
So here's the thing, I've never been in SBT before. I was put into Guardians, so it's gonna be interesting to see how I'll do in here. I only know 3 other coaches that are in this div, so I'm going to be facing a lot of new faces. That's pretty cool.
I'm familiar with what Piranha Plant, Photon. I mean, I know George, but I'm not sure if you do.
I don't even know Photon. The 3 I know are X
We were
Gamer.
the same as him last season in Utopia.
Was I? I don't think we played though, did we?
Yeah, he dropped out early on.
Oh, okay, that must be why. Okay, then I know 4 because I know him. I know.
And Stanley.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, no, I know Stanley as well. And I know Shrek. And I know X Gamer. But that's
Oh,
about
is it
it.
Shrek Smash? I can't tell because they spelled it wrong.
Yeah, it's Shrek for Smash. And I don't think I actually play Stanley or X Gamer, which is.
There's a lot of Dutch people in your pool.
Yeah. Anyway,
So,
so I was number 12.
They drink too well.
All the really good stuff obviously would be gone by now. And that's kind of sad. But there are 2 Pokemon I specifically thought I could get that I was looking to draft. Mega Gliscor. Sorry, no, Gliscor was one, and Mega Sizzle was the other. Because I just, like both those Pokemon. And Gliscor was the priority, and they both got down to me, but I drafted Gliscor, which is named Petra. Which is both named after the lost city of Petra and the greatest character in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Yeah.
The Rose City.
Yeah, this goes dumb.
It's it's going to be a very good character for a composition, just like Petra. Look at that amazing defense stat. You can tell that it's well defined by those incredible walls at the amazing sight. And you can look at its solid speeds here. It may not be getting as many double hits as you would like out of a Fire Emblem character, but it's still going to be putting in very solid work.
Gliscor, Petra, and the Lost City of Petra are all marvels of architecture. Let's be real.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not to mention, you can see the Rose City in that beautiful smile.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Gliscor, dumb Pokemon, really strong, really solid. I haven't really gotten to use it in a non-HP format before, so that's going to be fun. This is just a Pokemon that stalls out everything. We've seen I think a calc that I've been shown a few times is it just outstalling Melodic because it doesn't. Yeah, well, it's like outstalling Melodic with Surf. I think it's uninvested, but still, it just it's never 3-hit KO, or it's 3-hit KO 1% of the time. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Good Pokemon, as it turns out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to using it. Here's the thing with Gliscor. So, I don't like it. It's got both Stealth Rock and Defog, but I never really want to run Stealth Rock or Defog on it, because I think it's such a good Pokemon that it wants other moves, it wants...
You've got, obviously, you want Roost on most comps. There are times where you would appreciate a U-turn, or you'd appreciate, a knockoff, Facade, Earthquake Stab, Doing Beat. Oh, yeah, Doing Beat's legal in this league. It is legal. Then...
Swords Dance.
Swords Dance, Agility.
Sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. So there are a lot of options that you want to run.
Yeah, I think
especially if you're playing against a more defensive team.
So for the rest of my draft, I made sure I had good rockers and good defoggers. So and also good momentum. Which leads me to my second round pick, which is I think a little early, but also not.
No, it's not early because there was going to be another what?
Oh yeah, wasn't getting back to it. Yeah, wasn't getting back to it.
There's no way. There's no way.
So it was Rotom Wash. I was gonna go Tapu Fini, but it was picked, and
I see Rotom Wash go like round 2, round 3,
Yeah.
basically. The league.
Yeah. I was gonna pick Tapu Fini second, but that left, so I went Rotom Wash, and Rotom Wash is a very good Pokemon. I don't think I need to explain this. Or do I?
Yeah, look at that amazing 50 HP.
Yeah.
What a good defensive stalwart defender.
Yeah. This is just very good. This is a water that's very good at beating other water types, and that's very good for a team with
It's also
Blitzcrank.
electric. That's really good at beating grounds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good Pokemon. I think it's got good synergy with Gliscor. Very solid defog, a very good solid status Pokemon. Volt turn. It's Rotom. It's Rotom Wash, right? Like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Don't need to.
And it's a ghost, which is why it's the Dead Sea.
Yeah, even though it's not Ghost type anymore.
Yeah, but it just drops some salt in the wounds. I think you'll like it very much.
I almost want to end this now. Both because I hate what you just said, but I think that's peaked. I think it's peaked.
Access to Nasty Boy is very nice for Washington as well.
Yeah, that too.
It means both Gliscor and Washington, one of them can run like the more defensive pivot variant, and the other one is able to run like the setup of offensive variant, or both of them can because you still have like a rest of the team behind you.
Yeah.
But even just with these two, it's an incredibly good baseline for a core. The only real concern you have is obviously freeze dry.
Yep. Yeah, but so
And
speaking of freeze dry, well, no. Okay.
it's not amazing. But
The
grass is not a great type.
yeah, but you know, if someone does want to bring a grass resist against a grass type against me, they kind of can't because of my third. Well, they can, but it's not going to do anything because of my third pick, Mega Venusaur, made up to the Hanging Gardens because you know.
Yeah, because it's a dinosaur.
Yeah, it is a dinosaur. Is it a dinosaur? No, it's like a frog.
It's a dinosaur frog.
But it moves like a frog.
It's got like a dinosaur plant on its back.
Yeah.
Of a frog.
Yeah. So
Is Venusaur the flower or the frog?
Yes.
I see.
It's the frog because it was also a frog when it was a baby. I've just felt like I thought Mega Venusaur, Gliscor, and Rotom were a very good defensive trio.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I just sort of had to get it, and I love using Mega Venusaur.
I mean, this is something which resists freeze dry. No, it's neutral freeze dry.
It's a grass type that is neutral to ice moves, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah. And it's also a 4x grass resist.
Yeah, and it's very good against water types, I think.
For that brilliant matchup.
Yep. It's a very good Pokemon.
Yeah. And yeah, very, very solid defensive stalwart, as well as being another knockoff user, which is super nice for this team. And Leech Seed and Toxic are both really good options for constant damage.
Yeah, and you know, just in case I need more health into Gliscor, Leech Seed, yeah. But it also helps get health into Rotom, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just a very solid.
Makes Rotom +1 on plate split.
Yes. Yeah, and I think number 4, we'll go straight to number 4. So number 4, at this point, I needed speed. Like, that was pretty obvious. I needed something fast. So, and I also wanted another rocker because, as I said, you know, it's
you don't want to run off some Gliscor too often.
Yeah. And the pick that up, I almost went with Jirachi, which would have been, like, really bulky, but I decided to save a few points, and I went for Azelf, which is just, I think, more, you know,
which is
harder, it's harder and is faster, and does rocks, and has, you know, a few neat things.
I love it.
Like, I know you hate Jirachi and like Azelf, so...
I don't hate Jirachi.
Yeah, you're just not a fan of it, I guess. But,
now the protective pads exist.
Yeah.
It's Valor, right? Azelf?
Azelf?
Or Willpower?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's Willpower.
Oh, well, there you go.
Man, I'm trying to remember like the Gen 4 crap. It's like...
Yeah, I don't pay attention to what the...
Until
I got into like drafting, I didn't actually really know the difference between them.
Is it ideals or is it truth?
I don't get it. But
I like yourself.
Yeah,
I
Azel's
think
pretty
it's
cool.
the,
Yeah.
I think it's the least cool looking of its trio, but it still looks really cool. It doesn't quite have the what's it, the 6 minarets or 7 minarets on the blue moss,
Yeah.
but it's got 2 tails and like a cool haircut.
And it's blue. That's very important.
6 minarets, and then they had to build a 7th one on the Great Mosque in Mecca because it had 6 moss. It only had 6 minarets, so you couldn't have the same on your mosque as on the Great Mosque.
There you go. Maybe the one on its head was like the last one.
Yeah, it's very possible.
I think that's cool flavor. Yeah, I don't know. This is a Pokemon. It hits hard, and I wanted that. It's got Nasty Plot. That's pretty cool. I used it before in my first draft that wasn't run by Electric. Good old ICL Season 4 Miners. And it was really good in that. So I'm looking forward to it being really good again. Yeah.
I definitely appreciate what Azelf can bring in a very offensive profile, but also maintaining this team's amazing ground type matchup.
Yeah.
And just being a good breaker in general for this team.
It's a fast rock option. That's pretty cool.
And its resistances aren't even bad.
No. Well, resists Psychic, which is good. It's not that bulky, but it still resists Psychic. That's pretty neat. Yeah.
It's got a decent defensive profile that can be because its speed really allows it to get a lot more bulk out of its stats.
Yeah.
If need be.
And it's got Explosion.
I can have leech sneak pulled into it. Yeah, and it's also got a really fast taunt, which is nice.
Yeah.
As well as obviously fast rocks and the offensive profile. Good coverage on the physical side. That's good on the special side, but still quite good.
It still exists.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it has Nasty Plot. Does it have Sword Stance?
I don't believe it does.
Does
it get knocked off?
It does.
It does get knocked off.
That's pretty good. It's another one.
Only from last year though.
Yeah. Okay. I think we can move
I've
on.
got Storm Power this gen. That's solid. And Future Side.
Does it have Calm Mind?
It gets Nasty Plot and Calm Mind, yeah. It always it's gotten bulk up. Bulk, no swords, no sword stance. Does get Rain Dance though, just in case you want that extra strong run and wash,
Yeah. Anyway, my next draft, I'm like, you know what? This is on a day that I was quite tired because work's been sort of messing my sleep schedule around, making me do really late night shifts and day break and the next day starting at 6. So I was quite tired at this point, but for some reason I got into my head that I really needed bulk really badly, so I went with Blissey.
You really want the freeze dry switching.
Yeah, well I did actually, and it is a freeze dry switching. I think I actually do, even in even now that I'm oh man, I really wasn't as frail as I thought I was. Blissey's still good for this team. I like something that can switch into Ice Beams and Surfs every single day, and it can do that. Yeah, freeze dries. It's very good.
Wash. Yeah, I mean, Wish Support is still nice here. It means that Mega Venusaur is often a Pokemon which struggles with move slots. Being able to get a really, really fucking fat Wish into it is incredible. Because then
you can't call it. It's not a fat Wish, please. It's an obese Wish. It's a chunky Wish.
It's chunky Wish.
It's a full-figured Wish.
Yeah, really solid.
It's a wish that's happy with its curves.
It's washed them into Gliscor. Well, obviously Gliscor needs it less. Into Venusaur.
Yeah.
Because Venusaur appreciates not having to run Synthesis and Leech Seed, and you can trade every week. Very much can increase the damage output, can increase the utility as a result.
Yeah.
And it's named after the Valley of the Kings because this is where every special attacker is laid to rest, and you will never find their body.
Oh no, that's so sad.
Yeah.
It's what lot, that makes it sound a lot more intimidating. That's the eyes and smile of a killer. That's the eyes,
Not just a killer, mass murderer.
Yeah. Nothing can stand in its way.
Speaking of mass murder.
Speaking of mass murderers, so at this point, I think it's safe to assume that I'm a bit too fat. I need some strong
physical
Pokemon, a strong physical Pokemon, and I also want another Pokemon that is sort of the 95-ish speed, because Gliscor, it's got that speed, but it doesn't want to run it every single week. So I think
Yeah.
it's fine to double up. So I went with a nice strong fire type in Darmanitan.
Yeah, it's the Nalahihara, which is the new temple in Afghanistan. This amazing temple complex for the Buddhists, and obviously the Manhattan is quite inspired by Dharmaka, as well as obviously American footballers, especially linebackers. But that gives it the that's where the name came from. And truly, look at that attack stat, and it doesn't show the sheer force here, but
Yeah.
sheer force flablets, two KOs basically every, especially defensive order.
Yeah, it's good.
And this pivots into Pokemon which are able to break most of the physically defensive ones.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. The Venusaur, like the Washington.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's a very good Scarf option too, which I don't think my team really had.
You had Washington and Azelf.
Yeah, sure.
It's like actually a very good.
Okay, it's a good physical Scarfer. There we go.
Yeah. I mean, they have very good special offense between Washington and Azelf. Though Azelf can also be good physically, but this is another very good physical attacker.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of time for Darmanitan. Look at that smile. That damn smile.
And it also means that there's another potential way to deter strong fairy types.
Yes.
Like if you have, this should like clicking player off against his team into like a Venusaur or a Darmanitan is like, why would you? Why?
Please tell me why.
We decided that even. Oh yeah, and sorry, Blissey also added more rocks. I don't know if we said that.
Yeah. Blissey, third rocker. Takes a lot of pressure off of Azelf and Gliscor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we have the next.
Okay, so I want to apologize. So understand something about this. I was tired. I was given a lot of pressure, and if you
have any children in the room, I would recommend you cover their eyes for this next pick because it's just too good. It's too good. Like it's incredible how good this is. Like
I want to apologize to everyone I know. Okay, I want to apologize to everyone I know. I understand. I sold out. Right, I sold out. I went against my principles. I did something disgusting, but I was sleepy. I was being pressured. I was offered a lot of money. I was probably on some sort of drugs. Caffeine's a drug, that counts. It got to me, man. My next pick, I needed a steel type. Granted, this isn't the best Pokemon at being a steel, but it's still a steel type. And I needed something fast to fit between some speed tiers. And I needed a strong wall breaker. And I went with Kartana.
Yeah, it's the Beta Chwa, which was the massive Grand Library of the Abbasids in Baghdad, which was it's weird. So there's like the myth about the Library of Alexandria being burned down, whereas we know in the actual history, the Library of Alexandria really just fell into disuse, and by the time that it was burnt down, it was basically empty. Whereas a lot of the myth that came from that actually came from the Mongols burning down the House of Wisdom, which was actually this massive complex, like I said, in Baghdad, because the Mongols, when they took Baghdad, completely razed the place, and it took a very long time and a lot of dedication from subsequent caliphs to build it back up to where it was. So, the amazing House of Wisdom.
And it fits because a single Ember kills this Pokemon.
Certainly. As long as it's not in the rain. Like I said, that's what the rain's for, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. Field of Speed is a Spore Breaker. I do play up my hate for Ultra Beasts a little bit, but it still feels weird drafting them. I don't know. I think this is just a good, strong Pokemon.
This was a very weird composition where an offensive steal was actually felt quite important for this comp.
Yeah.
Because, again, Mega Venusaur is a Pokemon that hates running move slots. So that is your only way to break steals is your only way to make fairies could not be amazing.
Yeah.
So this is a very good Pokemon at breaking fairies as well as switching into player offs, and honestly, you can even take the occasional Moonblast.
Yeah, and it's got a lot of it's just a nice breaker or cleaner at the end of the day.
This is another thing we were saying with Gliscor and Kartana and Azelf, it can be very difficult to for opposing Pokemon to really try and figure out what moves to run. And we have a Blissey, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Uninvested special moves are not going to be doing amazingly against this team. Like,
yeah.
So, and this is another defogger as well. It gets a lot of free turns on this comp to be able to defog.
It's also got knockoff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, knockoff is very nice for this team.
Yeah. It's kind of it is weird because this is, spoiler warning, my only steal, and it's a little odd to see. I think, like, usually when Kartana's drafted, it's the second steal, right? But
or the first one, and then they get a second.
But
Bronzo.
there's two steals. I feel like it's okay in this draft. Weirdly, I think it comes together.
You still don't have much to really in the way of needing a steal, I think, which is weird to say.
Yeah.
But like, your rock weakness is Dominator.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, Katana's more than fine at switching into any rock type that's about to hit Dominator, right?
Yeah,
that
is a lot of defense. That is a lot of defense.
131 defense is not to be underestimated.
Yeah, that is a lot of defense. It's yeah.
And it has reliable recovery. It has conditional recovery in synthesis.
Yeah. Just hope I don't play sand. Okay.
Well, I mean, it's not even damaged by sand, which is super nice.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. What a reliable Pokemon.
But the synthesis isn't as good in the rain that we use so that it can survive like an ember.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But so here we are. The next pick was just designed to help flesh out the speed tiers on the upper end.
Noivern, which it's another quad ice weakness, but I think those are my only two ice weaknesses. I have two grasses, neither of them are weak to ice. So that's fine. I think just 120. I just needed a fast Pokemon. And another good, strong special attacker is probably going to be nice, and Noivern provides this. Like, it doesn't have a high special attack stat, but it has high base power moves to make up for it. So
I mean, you've got Boom Burst, really phenomenal, like a neutral move for like offensive throw spray variants. You've got Hurricane, really high base power. Draco Meteor, really high base power. Fire Blast, pretty solid base power as well.
Yeah.
Which is nice. It's named after the Nalapa Temple in Tamil Nadu in India, which is this amazing temple full of so many dedicated to the goddess Shiva, and the columns in the temple are made. And this is a many-floored temple with a whole lot of different columns all around, and they're made so that you can blow into them to play music like you can on an instrument, which is just such a really cool thing to me. It's a place I'd love to go to as well.
Yeah, what Electric told me about it, I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
Yeah,
that's pretty perfect for Noivern.
Yeah, this one I was like, when we were coming up with the concept of having it named after like a really cool site in this sort of area, I was like, well, this is what it's going to be called. But I was spending a while trying to remember what it was called.
Yeah.
And I was really glad. And it also has like the cool mixed matching of colors, which is something which I always liked in Noivern. How it's got like the purple, the black, the red, the blue,
the aqua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a scarf.
And a plush of Noivern. It's pretty cool. This is another U-turner. Fast Pokemon. I think it just sort of fit our role really well. I was originally going to draft like Aerodactyl instead of this, but I'm very happy with Noivern, to be honest.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
Aerodactyl, I think, we wound up deciding to go for Kartana because as a result.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, I wanted Aerodactyl for Kartana, but because I was asleep, I left picks, so I would.
Aerodactyl went before you Kartana.
Big pardon? Yeah, that's what I mean. So, I said I wanted Aerodactyl, then I just said, okay, Aerodactyl, then Kartana, then... Yeah. But my next pick is Deontay. Now, I wanted Aromatisse, but then, so I've got this friend, right? His name is, M the Amazing... No, that's too obvious. Mancini. Yeah, let's call him Mancini.
Yeah, what about the Mancini, the Man City, So he has the Man City.
Or, let's not beat around the bush. So I've got this friend called Electric, who was like, hey, you should draft this Pokemon called Aromatisse. And it's like, oh, okay, I'll draft that. And then the exact same friend had this other friend called Stanny B in the draft. And he couldn't stop gushing about how good Aromatisse was to this man. He went up to him and it's like, hey, you know what you should do? You should draft this Pokemon that my other friend really wants to draft. Oh yeah, it'll be great. So I got a betrayal, which led to a few things. Basically meant I had to draft a different fairy, and I was originally going to go Granbull, but then that was taken. So at the end of the day, I had to fuse my Granbull and Regirock pick together into DLC.
Which was originally the area, into DLC.
Yes.
So the actual context was Stanley was drafting in 3 drafts at one time, and I was giving advice to him in 2 of them, and occasionally the 3rd. So he was like, hey, is Aromatisse any good? And I thought he was talking about his WPF team, where at the time Keith had.
I was gonna get Aromatisse.
No. You had not decided that yet. We had not talked about the Aromatisse in that pick yet, because there was another Pokemon which you wound up getting sniped on, but I don't even remember what it was. This was like 2 days before you wound up drafting Aromatisse in there. He's like, is Aromatisse any good? I'm like, yeah. They dropped the Aromatisse in SBT. I'm like, fuck.
You just hate me, it's fine. So Deontay's a weird... Like, Deontay's a bit of a... It's a fairy, it's a cool fairy, I've used it before.
It's good, it's another rocker.
Yeah, it's another rocker. It
really appreciates the solid wish support.
Yep. It does have this sort of issue with, like, being really weak to steel and weak to ground, but at the end of the day, I've got a decent ground matchup regardless.
List of ground weaknesses, Darmanitan, list of ground immunities, Gliscor, Rotom Wash, Azelf, Noiva.
Yeah, so it's fine. And yeah...
It was more, I would say, the main weakness that this really compatible upon is your water weakness.
Yeah.
Like, you don't love switching into Scald, especially if Gliscor hasn't gotten its...
Yeah, but I have Blissey for that, and I have one other Pokemon for that, which we'll get to later.
Yeah.
Actually, we can just get to it now. But
I just want to mention that it's Deontay is the Darul Hashar, which is this which is the Rose Palace in Sana'a in Yemen, or it's like near it's in Yemen, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yeah. It's a museum now, I believe. But yeah.
Okay.
Love it.
We now have the last pick. It was Poliwrath.
Yeah, so sometimes you just you're out prospecting, and you're in this lovely place called Bulbeck, which sounds like bull bags, but I swear it is it's not kinky. It's in Lebanon, and there you find this amazing fish, the Poliwrath.
It's the amazing fish, which is actually like a tadpole person.
Yeah, the Temple of Bacchus, which is obviously the god of debauchery. It's where the term debauchery comes from, I believe.
Yeah. Like, look at that. That fish gets around. That tadpole gets around.
He is clearly drunk.
He's
yeah.
Fun fact, did you know? I'm fairly sure his spiral flips when Poliwhirl turns into Poliwrath.
Yeah, I believe it does.
Yeah. But Poliwrath is it's a water absorber. That's what it is. It's also a rock resist, and that's pretty good.
And it's the fabled last part of the Rain Core that we were talking about.
Exactly. There you go.
It gets access to Circle Throw, which is nice. It is quite convenient. It gets... No, I don't believe it does get flipped on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's still... Okay.
Talk about this. Something came up.
So Poliwrath, he's got the pants. The Fighting type stab is okay here because there are just like normal types are a problem. Normal types aren't a problem unless they are named Snorlax or Miltank, in which case they have access to the amazing ability which is called Thick Fat, and then Darmanitan isn't necessarily the best at breaking through them, and Katana isn't necessarily the best at breaking through them, though they both can with their coverage, but it's like just having a fighting type to deter normal types is quite nice. Being able to deter rock types, even though obviously Gliscor doesn't mind as much about the rock types, he is not a rock resist. It's still very nice, and obviously it just means that it's just something which we thought made it more difficult for opposing teams to know what they're going to bring against him. Like, we're just like, water type is going to make it more difficult for them to being able to bring a lot of other things. A secondary water type is going to really oppress their opposing. Just having the ice resist and the water immunity relieves entirely all the pressure off of Gliscor. Like that's both of Gliscor's weaknesses gone. And then outside of that, I think the only other weakness that Noivern has is rock, and this resists rock as well. Dragon. But we've got the immunity and we've got Katana, both of which are capable of threatening a lot of things as well.
And
so
Blissey, the Draco needs yours.
Yes, Blissey eats the Dracos like groceries. Yeah, it's quite good.
Yeah, I don't know what you said, but I trust you summed it up. So.
I feel like this really adds a comprehensive part, and like, yeah,
Okay,
Fox Mobile.
so final slide, we've got all the Pokemon sitting there in a forest, just happy. Just nice and happy. Isn't it cute?
Yeah.
So, what do you
Except
think
for the Poliwrath, he looks a bit mad.
Well, you know, he's drunk. He's an angry drunk.
Yeah. And I think Azelf is really worried. I think Poliwrath may have said something untowards.
Yeah, it's, you know, Poliwrath's challenged Azelf to have a go. What did you say about me? Huh? And, you know, it's... Azelf's not a...
The one downside to giving all of the Pokemon around you more willpower is if they're quite drunk.
Yes.
It's maybe not necessarily the thing that you want to be imbuing them with.
So, what do you think about this draft? In general?
I think that it's a really good defensive composition. I guess theoretically some dragons could be spooky, like Poison Kamara, but I don't believe Kamara went.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Lenard took it, didn't he? Yeah, good old Lenard.
Yeah. I agree. I think some dragons might be scary, and I think, but they're very specific dragons, and I think maybe some specific strong psychics but like, I think that's my main issue. Some very strong psychic types, but
oh yeah, you do only have 2 flying resists, and both of them will be to grass. So like, some flying types could be spooky, but like, let's be honest, like Tornadus Theory is probably like the scariest flying type, and Grassnot is base 40 against Deontay and base 20 against Rotomosh.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah. No, I think the main issue is some strong psychic types, but I've got enough natural bulk and stuff I think to fight it off.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
Not to mention, Blissey's going to take most psychic type moves.
Unless they're running
Psyshock,
but
Psyshock that are next special.
Yeah.
And then you have a Kartana.
Yeah.
With its 131 defense.
Yeah. Like I have some things to switch in.
And you have like a Gliscor with its.
Yeah, they need to be really strong to break like bulky as hell Gliscor too. Like.
Yeah.
You know,
Not to mention.
They exist. So.
Yeah, there are certainly options out there. Like maybe an Alakazam could be a bit spooky.
Or Mega Gardevoir.
If it dodges U-turn.
But it's Mega Gardevoir and it's Mega Gardevoir. That's
I think Mega Gardevoir's a lot less scary because unless it has web support, and I don't believe the Gardevoir. I believe there was a Mega Gardevoir team. Yeah, there's a Mega Gardevoir team, but it does not have webs.
Yeah. Okay,
so it's not that spooky. Unless they run Trick Room against you. Man, that team really could double. Zeraora maybe could be a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
Like if Gliscor doesn't have its
what does Zeraora do for to hit Mega Venusaur, I guess? I guess it's only one Pokemon.
Hit Zen.
Oh, does it? Did you go?
Yeah. I was thinking Zen.
Okay.
Because that is okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yes, but so like if it knocks into Gliscor, that's really bad for Gliscor. So Gliscor would already have to have the Toxic Orb.
Yep.
But like if you just like let Gliscor.
I'm looking forward to losing a game because of that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like an entire game. Like I feel like this is an amazing. It's amazing number of options there are. Maybe if you prep badly against a Gothitelle, it could be scary because you don't have a Goth. But like, is there even a Gothitelle? Yeah, there's no Gothitelle.
Oh, there you go.
There's not even a like Gothorita or a Gothita. I think it's the babby one. Yeah, so like.
Is there a one?
I don't know. You've got maybe Zone, like you don't have amazing switch-ins to like Analytic Flash Cannon, but like
really.
That's about it. I mean, outside of obviously the Washington, but then Washington doesn't want to take an Analytic Volt Switch.
Yep.
But even then, I don't think Zone Oko's Gliscor, and Gliscor definitely Oko Zone.
Yeah, so does
Dugtrio can maybe pick off some parts of your team, but so much of it is ground immune. Yeah, so you'd really be worrying about like Gliscor Dugtrio picking off more of the offensive parts of your team, obviously. So then, yeah, I think that. What does the Dugtrio team even have something which is super scary for you? Mega Deontay maybe after, or like if the Mega Venusaur got trapped, maybe Deontay could be scary.
Does Dugtrio even effectively trap Mega Venusaur?
Well, given that this team is like a million U-turners into it, it's possible that it could.
I guess.
But not without taking damage into it. It's just, I mean, obviously the main thing Dugtrio does is trap weakened Pokemon.
Yeah.
And like, the mana attack for full, but like that's a U-turn one anyway. So whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. If I look at a lot of these teams, I think you have neutral. It's a good matchup against most of them. Maybe it's a bit gross for you trying to break like the the Celestial team or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see.
You ever watched?
I don't have a
you ever
real
watched?
Doom to
That's
rank
good.
it this time.
Yeah. I mean, that works so well in playoffs, right?
Shut up. It's just prep.
Yeah, I think maybe
so badly
Richard's
for that.
team. The problem that you do struggle with is that Richard is Dutch, which means he is probably going to beat you. And Stanley is also Dutch, and he's probably going to beat you. And then
But I
Leonard
don't
is
play
also
Stanley.
Dutch. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
I guess I'll check the schedule to see if you play Leonard. Because if you play Leonard, I mean, he's Dutch. What are you going to do?
Look, okay, in the WPF DDiv power rankings, I asked you to sort of put aside your competitive racism, but here you are talking about how great the Dutch are
week
compared to the
9. That's
Australians.
you play Leonard. So
Here we
you've got no
This
chance.
is a bit of an issue. I think we're gonna end this now. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just an unfortunate reality of the fact that you're Australian.
But I look
It's the
forward
weakest we all
to.
have.
I'm very glad that I managed to get into SBT this season. I look forward to. I look forward
It's
to.
a good season.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'm liking the community so far. Yeah. Hopefully I can do well, and
And please give us extra SB tokens for making a draft breakdown.
Yes.
This
This
thank
is
you
what
for
this is
playing
all
Lee
for.
Carvel's Ball is in parking lot. Thank you for playing Lee Carvel's putting challenge. Would you like to try again?
You have selected no.
No.